Okay, just want to start by saying thank you so much for spending the time to sit down and chat with me. I suppose we should start right at the beginning. How did you first discover drag?
Oh God, right at the beginning. I've just been going through an album actually that my friend sent me, which was the beginning
Hmm.
of me in university when I did a performance and gender module in
Okay.
my theatre degree, and started looking into drag, and at that point spoke to some drag artists and realised that I can do drag, which I didn't think was a possibility for
Hmm.
me. So kind of started exploring that there. And when I say exploring, I mean wearing a ratty blue wig where I cut the lace so short, like the makeup that in my head was drag makeup was thick black eyebrows and some red lipstick. And I was like, she's there.
I'm serving. Yes.
So it's it's nice to see the growth.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, that was kind of like the first time I ever even really thought about it, or drag was even kind of on my radar, I
Hmm.
guess. That would have been like 2000. I'm revealing my age. That would have been like 2016, 17,
Okay. Do
a little while ago.
you think that gave you a different perspective into drag then, seeing it sort of academically?
Yeah, it definitely kind of had, when I did it for the module, I kind of
Mhm.
did the political undertone
Yeah.
of performing it as a drag queen. And I remember doing a whole kind of skit where I was doing monologuing lines from films that were said by like powerful men, but changing it to language from a woman's
Oh.
perspective. Like, this was a uni degree, baby. So I was really, trying to push the boundaries. So I think, yeah, that was the kind of way in. I know a lot of people probably end up watching shows
Hmm.
and seeing it through that way. So I probably kind of came in at a different
Yeah.
angle than that. And then from that point started going to shows, watching Queens and kind of yeah, figuring out what the drag world was really.
Yeah, totally. So, a question that everyone hates to hear, what was the first performance like?
Next question. Um I mean, I got an okay grade, so
Hmm.
it must have been
Yeah.
fine. Um yeah, scary, probably the
Yeah.
first word. Especially because it was in front of all of my uni friends, so kind of loads of people I knew.
Mm.
So it felt like quite, yeah. I think I ended up putting a lot of pressure on myself because of that. So scary first and foremost, but then like the most liberating thing after
Mm.
that, and hands down, yeah, the one of the best things I think I've ever
Yeah.
done. I look back on that and I look at that baby blue wig and I think, girl, oh my god, you it's yeah, nice to see that. Yeah, even my first little show was good
Mm.
fun, and I found, yeah, something from it.
And how did you go from taking it from sort of a uni thing to something you do sort of every day in the real world?
I mean, yeah, I spent a lot of time in my room
Mm.
just doing makeup looks,
Hmm.
watching videos, and kind of at that point, I guess being kind of closeted about it. At that
Okay.
point, I was very new into my identity as a queer person, and I was kind of exploring that, but not in an outward way. I'd be
Yeah.
at home, I'd be, yeah, just practicing kind of little bits of makeup skill. I think knowing that I wanted to
Hmm.
do stuff, because obviously I was a performer on stage at that point and I was doing character work and stuff, but drag just seemed like a whole other expansion on that, and I
Mm.
really delved into. But it wouldn't have been until 2020, summer of 2022, that I watched a drag performance with the House of Deviant, which
Hmm.
is Wales' first and only learning disabled drag troupe. Because I was working in a disabled arts company at the time, they were performing as part of our festival setup. Watched them perform, thought this is amazing. Went to go and I built up the courage to go and talk to the drag mother of the
Oh,
group, which was like,
yeah.
I think you're really pretty and I really love what you do and I think you're really amazing. Like really trying to
Yeah.
get through that. And she was like, "Oh well, we need volunteers. Like if you want to come to chapter and volunteer with us on a Tuesday evening." And I was like, "Oh great, I'll do that." Kind of going in as like the support model because I'd supported disabled people
Yeah.
in a lot of my work. But then, it was oh, why don't you just try on this wig and you could try on this jumpsuit? And then it turned into, oh, well, if the guys are on stage and they need support, maybe you could be a drag queen support worker. And I was like, That's
I love
like
that.
two things that I do and love, like just kind of
Yeah.
mad in the middle. It's like, yeah.
Wow.
And yeah, from there on, I've started with the House of Deviant, worked with them for a while, and then when I got to a point, I spoke to my drag mother and said, I'm thinking about kind of going off on my own thing and wanting to try my own stuff. And she said, yeah, you're at the point where you can do it, go for it.
Hmm.
So yeah, from then that would have been January of 2024 that I kind of
Hmm.
started to think
Oh.
this is something I want to do on my own.
Hmm. I hope you don't mind me saying, obviously, that you have a obviously different gender expression to what drag queens typically have. So have you
Mm.
received some sort of backlash or resistance from the community?
In To be honest, like 99% of the
Mm.
time, total supportive. I think most of the time it's polite questions for people who
Okay.
come up to speak to me and then go, "Oh, I didn't know this was a thing." And then I can go back to my story when I go, "I didn't know it was a thing either until I saw a show and spoke to a
Yeah.
drag queen after and said, 'You were great.'" And she was like, "Oh, thank you." And I was like, "Hold up."
What? Yeah.
What? So then yeah, I kind of it's yeah, most of the time it's really positive. I think the best reaction I had was when I did the Christmas show at Mary's,
Hmm.
and this woman, I was walking to the bathroom after I'd done my 10-minute slot, and she just came up to me and she went, "Are you a man or a woman?" And I went, "What does it matter, babe?" And she just looked me up and down and she went, "Man," and walked away. I was like, I've won. I've won.
You were so good at drag that she thought that you, yeah.
I mean, it doesn't help that when I'm in my heels, I'm like 6'2".
Hmm.
So like, I'm like, babe, I'm whatever you want me to be. I like. So yeah, never really backlash. Just more kind of, I guess, curiosity.
Mhm.
Probably a good way to
That's
phrase
good.
it.
I suppose we don't see, obviously, I know the term bio queen is quite controversial, but I suppose that would be a way to describe it. We don't see that
Yeah,
much representation in media as we do sort of traditional male presenting as drag queen.
yeah. There's three kind of terms that go round.
Mhm.
Bio queen is the one that does have that because
Yeah.
the meaning for that one being biological woman, and then
Yes,
that brings
totally. Yeah, yeah.
the whole thing of like what is a woman and how it's kind
Yeah.
of
Yes,
anti-trans
yeah,
in
totally.
language. So I think the one that people tend to use now is AFAB, which is
Hey, Fab,
assigned
yeah, it's fine.
female at birth.
Hmm.
But that's where the name of my queen comes from. That's where So Faux is, because people sometimes say faux queen, which obviously translates to fake, or as some people said, faux fur on a gig that they reviewed for my first drag show, not naming any names, looking at you over there with the green screen.
I do apologize. It has since been changed.
I mean, like maybe she could be like my distant cousin, you know? Like, hey, if ever you want to do drag and get my drag fam,
Oh,
so fair,
absolutely.
let's go. Um, but yeah, I was thinking about so faux, and I was like, I really like that because obviously faux just means fake, and
Mhm.
for me, drag is that
Yeah.
like fakeness. It's being this whole other like being that isn't
Mhm.
even human. It's like over the top. So for me, yeah, faux queen I resonate with, but then it's yeah, each to their own of how people would rather be
Mhm.
spoken about or how they want to speak about themselves in that kind of
Yeah.
terminology.
So when did the name Sofo come into sort of the remit of you? In the
Yeah, I so when I started with the Deviants, they kind of came up with my name, and my name with that group is Cherry Sunday, and I
Mhm.
still tend to go by that when I perform with them. They're becoming so confident and brilliant on stage, they barely need me anymore, which
Yeah.
is what the project is, what
Yes,
we want.
totally.
But yeah, so they still go by me as Cherry, and then it was when I was coming in to do my own thing, and I thought, right, I want to do my own thing. I don't want to be known as Cherry. That needs to stay with the house,
Hmm.
and this is my opportunity. And I was just trying to think about all these things and like what it means to me. And then I just the word fake just keeps coming up in my head. I love it. I like day to day. I feel like I'd consider myself, I guess, kind of quite plain in the way
Hmm.
that I dress, and I like. I'm not really hyper femme. I'm kind of in
Yeah.
that bandwidth of a bit more masculine in the way I tend to look. So the thought of like putting on a massive pair of hoop earrings and a load of sequins, I was like, this is like the fakest thing I could do, and I love it. Like
Hmm.
fake always has a bit of a negative thing with it, doesn't it? Like, oh,
Yeah.
that's really fake. You're being really fake. So I wanted to kind of flip that to be like, yeah, I am,
Yeah.
and it's
This
amazing.
not how it presents Monday to Friday. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Um,
the day job. I love it.
So you obviously mentioned the first event I sort of met you at was Draglings. So what was
Yes.
it like performing as a part of that Draglings lineup?
Oh my God, absolutely terrifying. Awful, awful, scary, horrible. No, it was great. It was yeah, when I got it through that I was going to do it, I was very excited. Um but then I think you just start going in your head of going, great, you've got this gig, cool, and then your brain's like, oh, but now you need a concept, and now you need to do this, and you need to plan this, and you need to edit sound, and you need to think about lighting, and where are you going to enter from? Are you going to do a dramatic entrance from the back? You're going to
Mm.
pop through the curtain. So like, yeah, my brain just started kind of flitting into that mode. And I think ADHD plays a big part in my brain just going into lots of different directions. So I'm really good at that. My brain's really good at keeping me up at night with ideas. So in the build up to that, I was just going, oh gosh, what am I going to do? Is this going to land? Are people going to like it? And then you kind of get past that point, and I thought, I'm just going to go for it. This is what I
Mhm.
think I want to do. And the nice thing about Draglings was there wasn't any pressure. It was just
Mhm.
like it's a space for you to try and give things a go. And at that point, I was so fresh into to doing this, and
Yeah.
I was really trying to find my niche and what I wanted to perform. So it was, yeah, it felt like a really good opportunity. And then doing the performance was the best thing. Audience reaction, people afterwards like sending me videos, and I was
Oh.
looking at the videos and I was like, is that me? Who is she? Like the confidence boost was
Yeah.
just
Oh,
beyond really, really
fantastic.
good.
And a slight shift. While I was doing my research about you, I seen you attended DragCon. So how was DragCon?
Oh my God. Big, overwhelming, loud,
Hmm.
noisy, messy, fun. It was great. So me and Phil, whose name is
Hmm.
PPJ Photography, we decided to go together, and at that point didn't really know each other well and thought, gosh, we're gonna sit in the car together for 4 hours. Let's hope this goes well. And now we're like thick as
Yeah.
thieves.
Hmm.
So that to come from that is gorgeous in advance. But the event itself, oh my God. Yeah, when you walk in, I didn't realize it would just be like aisles of like, meet this queen, meet the queen, meet the queen, meet the queen, meet the king, meet this drag artist. And it was just like, buy this merch, buy this dress. And I was like, oh, I felt like a like kid in a candy shop vibe was really there. It was, yeah, really. We only went for one day. I don't think I could have done the whole
Mm.
weekend. I think it would have been a bit too much. But seeing RuPaul on the DJ decks was something I never thought I'd see.
I was about to ask, was there a highlight or something that you'll never forget? But I suppose Mama Ru on the DJ decks is very fair.
Yeah, it was pretty up there. That was pretty good. And then I think something that was just really nice was as you walk into the entrance, they had beautiful memorial walls
Mm.
for Cherry Valentine and for the Vivian recently as
Mm.
well. And it was beautiful big posters, and there were pots of pens, and everyone was grabbing a pen and going up and writing a message. And to have that like pretty much right on the entrance, I was like, oh, this is such a beautiful, kind space to be in.
Yes.
It really kind of set the tone for the rest of the day.
Mm. Oh, fantastic. So, jumping forward a little bit, you were a part of the Gallifrey Cabaret show in the Wales Millennium Centre. So, what was it like getting that call to be a part of that show?
Oh my gosh. I so I put in an application and I was like, love to do this silly thing, want to be a weeping angel, but she's kind of bad at it. Let me know your thoughts. Like that was basically the app. And I was like, right, go and do my other jobs, go and do whatever I'm doing. I then bought tickets for the Gallifrey Cabaret with my friend because I was like, there's no way I'm getting in. So I was
Almost
like,
sealing
yeah,
your own fate of like, nah, I'm not going to be in it, so I'll go see it instead.
because my application was so short and I like so dumb. I was like, I just want to do this silly thing. So we bought tickets, and then I messaged my friend and I was like, "Do you have anyone who wants my ticket? Because I'm kind of in the show." Like, what?
Sorry, yeah.
What are you doing? And I was like, "Yeah, I'm gonna have to like fully paint myself grey and become a weeping angel." Um, but it was so much fun. To this day, one of the best shows I've
Mm.
done. One of the absolute highlights. It was ridiculously silly, and to have two nights was great as well because
Mhm.
after the vibe of the first night, which was so good, I was like, I get to do all of this again. Like, so exciting. And like, I was listening to a Charlie XCX song, and at that point, like, Bright Girl Summer was like about to
Mm.
hit. So she was like big at the time, and I was like, this is just going to be the most perfect thing. And it was like everything just kind of fell into
Mm.
place really nicely that show, other than the fact that I did have to get Jaw Dropper and Annabelle to get paintbrushes and help my back get grey. Just it was one heck of a job trying to paint my whole body.
For
That was
two
silly.
nights.
For 2 nights, yeah, of course, not just one. So I had to wash it all off, go to my day job as a tour guide at the BBC,
Oh.
just making sure there wasn't any grey in my ear. Um, and someone recognised me the other day as well on a tour, and they were like, "Were you a weeping angel?" And I was like, but yeah, so much fun,
Hmm.
so much fun. Very fun to be as silly as I wanted to be, I think is the
Yeah. How did you pick Weeping Angel? So why of that of all the Doctor Who characters?
it just absolutely scared the crap out of me as a kid.
Hmm.
Like thinking that if anyone says the words Doctor Who, my mind will either go to the Weeping Angels or to the little kids with the gas masks
Yeah.
that were like,
Oh,
"Right,
yes.
horrific, horrible," but they're here. So I was like,
Yeah.
right, I've got a stronghold on there. And then it was when I started researching it, and I was like, right, what can I do? How can I be silly? And when I start looking into kind of planning out my shows, I'll just start YouTubing loads of clips and doing loads of bits and pieces. And YouTube came up with the Watch Mojo clip of the like
Hmm.
top 10 scariest monsters. And I was like, oh my God, Charlie XCX, I'm your number one. I was like, it literally what like
Express
it's that
itself.
it
Yeah.
laid out to be like, take me, do this. So I was like, that's just it's
Hmm.
perfect. And from that point, ordered a pair of really rubbish wings off Amazon and yeah, painted myself grey and the rest was history.
And obviously that was performed at the cabaret stage at the Wales Millennium Centre. So what was it like taking to the stage there, in the heart of Cardiff?
Yeah, beautiful. I love that space.
Hmm.
The deviants rehearse there every
Oh,
Tuesday
right,
as
okay.
well. So it's a space that I'm really comfortable with and really recognise, which is nice as well. Um, but yeah, it's great. I think it's lovely because you guarantee that you're going to get a really good crowd in with a
Hmm.
space like that.
Good.
And with it being quite new and snazzy at the time, I was a bit like, oh, like walking around like a fully painted grey, looking like an absolute idiot with like a G&T, like I'm in the cabaret at the Wales Millennium Centre. Like, where am I performing tonight? Oh, just down the bay, just in the UMC.
Yeah,
Like,
no, the biggest venues in
just one of the biggest venues in Wales, just that one that everybody knows and takes photos outside of. Yeah, that was the vibe.
But obviously, that's another full sort of lining up, like you said, all the things lined up. That the fact that the Deviants rehearsed there and now you performing there is another added layer.
Yeah, it's really nice, and it's a really nice way of then also just being able to connect
Hmm.
and make those little connections with different groups because they have so many different artists coming through that space.
Yes.
So yeah, it just kind of feels like a thriving with opportunity kind of space, which is really,
Yeah,
really
which is
lovely.
fantastic. So from events you've done to events you are going to do is, and I know we've talked about this in person, is you are part of the cast of I believe it's the second Mom Spotlight event. Um, what was it like getting that call?
I I cannot describe. I was at the Sherman Theatre working on an R&D in one of
Mhm.
my other jobs. So we were just in a really quiet room, just like sitting around the table, kind of just like ideas, like
Yeah.
writing bits down. And my Instagram just popped up and it was like message from Marmalade. And I was like, oh, it's like a scam account. It's just
Yeah.
like gonna be like,
I'm
hey, do you
stuck
wanna
in.
get more follows? Yeah, I was like, oh for God's sake, like, delete. Went to the message and it was just like, hey, we've got Spotlight coming up again. Would love you to be a part of it. And I must have blanked out for a good like 10 seconds and just been sat there like looking at my phone whilst like everyone else was still being like, yeah, this idea is wonderful. So your thoughts? And I literally just went, I'll be right back. Picked up my phone, left, and I just did like a silent scream in the corridor outside. Walked back and sat down and was like, yeah, so
So.
what and then yeah, afterwards just really had to take some time to let it sink in. Um, it was so unexpected, and
Yeah.
then hearing the comments that she had about seeing my last show, just
Mm.
so beautiful. Like I'd know, and like that was because I couldn't make the first Spotlight gig, so Phil was like, "Oh yeah, she said this about you or whatever," and I was like, "What?" And
Was
then that's like the video footage of her like, yeah, talking and saying really nice things, and I was like, oh, okay. Yeah, so it was a lot. It was a lot to take
Mm.
in.
So I don't want to put a damper on it, but do you think there's added pressure being in Mum's spotlight considering Marmalade and Lil from Drag Race UK are part of it as well?
Yeah, so yeah, when I when I got the message from mom, she was like, "Oh, the lineup's going to be great." And I was like, "Oh, great! Can't wait to like
Mm.
hear who's on the lineup." And then the poster drops, Lil, and I was just like, "Cool, right, that's fine." Um, yeah, wild. So yeah, again, had to take another moment to let that kind of just sink in, and I think a lot of the pressure is coming from myself.
Mhm.
I think I'm having this thing of going, oh my gosh, there's these two amazing names here. How am I going to compete? How? And then I have to just kind of sit back and go, no. I feel like a lot of the pressure is coming from me rather than anyone else or any situation. It's that thing of going, oh my gosh, am I good enough to be on a lineup with these big
Mhm.
names? And then I have to sit back and go, yes, you are. You've been asked
Yeah.
by Marmalade because she saw you perform and thought you were so good,
Mhm.
you've been asked to do this. So I think there's definitely elements of pressure, but then I just have to sit back and reassure myself and go, no, I'm it's going to be good, it's going to be great, and I've also got yeah, a really fun concept that I'm going
Mm.
to do for the piece, which I'm very excited
Oh,
about.
fabulous. I know you said about the fact you were asked for the performance. Does that kind of give you an extra boost rather than like applying?
Yeah, definitely. I think most, if not all of the shows I've done before have been through applications
Mhm.
actually. Um, Yeah, yeah. I think every show I've done, other than the stuff I do with the House of Deviant on the
Yeah.
sideline, has been me applying to do those shows. So I think it was my first ever "We Want You," which
Wow.
obviously makes you
Yeah.
feel, yeah,
Yeah.
amazing. And, yeah, it's really kind of cemented the because obviously I love doing drag and I love to do drag. If I could do drag every day, oh
Mhm.
my gosh, like where are the papers? Sign me up. Let's
Mhm.
go. But obviously in current climate and work and arts and all the fun stuff,
Mhm.
that's really hard to currently do. So I think it's just kind of reassured me that like I I am making good choices and
Yes. Mm.
doing good things and people like what I do, which is always very reassuring
Mm.
as well.
I know you kind of teased the concept, and I know you can't give too much away, but what can we expect? Maybe if it's just general adjectives or sort of something, what can you tease about this concept you have?
So I can say maybe some buzzwords like power
Okay.
and powerful women, but
Oh,
then I'm
okay.
going to say don't let the power go to your head too much.
Oh, okay. Oh, that sounds really interesting. Hopefully, I'll be there this time for this one. I'll be excited. So we are coming to the end of my questions, but I do have a couple more. So
Cool.
where can people stay up to date with you and all the wonderful shows you do?
So all of my main updates are through Instagram. TikTok I have, which is more just kind of for funsies.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, if you follow my Instagram, which is handlebar she's underscore so oh my gosh. I'm just gonna
Rewind.
rewind and take a moment. I promise I haven't had any alcohol before I did. I'm completely sober. Um, so Instagram is where to keep up to date. My handle for Instagram is she's underscore so underscore faux.
Hmm.
If you type in so faux, I normally tend to pop up just because
Okay.
I'm that anyway. But yeah, that's where I'll be posting any content where I'm shows where you can find me. And if people want to get in touch as well, that's usually the best way to just drop me a line and say, hey, we have this thing. You might be
Mhm.
really good at it. And even if I'm not, I'll try my best.
So I know we've talked about some of the events coming up, but do you have other events you'd like to promote and sort of shout out?
Nothing personally for me at the moment, but I'll always give the Deviants a shout
Mhm.
out because they're definitely worth going to
They
see.
are fantastic.
Oh, especially the Halloween show because I will be in that one, so that one
Okay.
will be, which is actually going to be at the Mooney in Pontypridd, the new
Okay.
place that's opened, but that will be in October time.
Mhm.
So a bit of a wait for that one, but tickets are on sale.
Fabulous. I'll put the link in the comments below so people can scroll down and click away.
Thank you. Are
So my final question is, what advice do you have for young people looking to get into the industry?
you saying I'm not a young person,
You know,
Rhys?
a fellow young people.
I went to a young person's event in work the other day and I was like, yeah, yeah, I'm 28 years old. Yeah, advice. I'm trying to think of what advice I would want. So when I was in my room and I was doing makeup and practicing and stuff like that, I had a few times where I'd stop. I'd lose a bit of confidence in myself
Mhm.
or something would come up and I'd kind of push stuff to the side for a little bit, and then maybe a few months later be like, oh, you wanted to try that technique
Yeah.
with contour, try it today. So I think, yeah, if you have those moments where you're kind of dipping and worrying about not being good enough,
Hmm.
then try and brush past that and just keep practicing. I remember getting really frustrated when I first started doing drag because I was like, my eyeliner isn't even, I can't get the lip shape I want, I don't know how to contour properly. And for probably for a good like few years, I was quite frustrated with the process. But even today, I am still learning. I'm
Yeah.
still picking up new techniques. I'm still getting advice from friends. I'm getting advice from other drag artists, kings, queens, other everyone. Online videos really helpful. So I think it's kind of, yeah, not giving up, but also remembering to be patient, and the process can be long,
Yeah.
but that's not a bad thing. That's a really positive thing.
Fantastic. So I started the same way I'm going to end. So, but by saying thank you so much for taking the time to sit down and chat with me. As I said, I'll put all the links in the comment below so people can scroll down and click away. But it's been
Thank you.
so much fun, and I shall speak to you soon.
Thank you so much. Take care.
Bye.